Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Hello Thursday Live Lesson. Jesus. Right before the show started, we're just like, oh, do we have questions and stuff? Like, oh, no, we don't have questions this week. Like, oh, no, are we just gonna podcast? Are we just gonna talk? Like, what? Will people listen? Like, will people care?
What do people talk about on podcasts?
Yeah. Hi, hello, and welcome to Thursday Live Lessons. My name is Aldrine Guerrero, joined by Mr. Aaron, the voice Nakamura. Say what's up, Aaron.
What's up?
And by Kahai, the legend, Fergan. Say what's up, Kahai.
What's up?
So Thursday Live Lessons, where we get any and all of your questions here, and we answer them all to our best abilities. I answer them as best as I can, and these two guys will bring in their 2 cents, and we'll come up with a super answer just for you. Particularly this week, we don't have any emailed questions, so we will have to rely on the live studio audience, right? Not studio audience, the live chat audience to type in your questions in the chat, and we'll answer them as best as we can. Ukulele related, not ukulele related, we don't care at this point. Like, we'll just talk about whatever. So guys, I no, actually I've been while I was away in Arizona, I actually had a little bit of time every now and then to kind of cruise by myself. So I was playing a lot of Switch, a lot of Nintendo Switch, but I was actually listening to some old Jake albums, and since we have nothing to talk about, I'll talk about some of my favorites. So
out of the entire catalog.
Out of the entire catalog. Well, I was actually I'm not, and it's been said, it's been documented, I'm actually not a big fan of like the later releases, and that's not just me being like, no, bring back old school Jake.
Yeah.
It's just
well, certain ones. Right?
Yeah, definitely certain. I mean, there's great songs like Kavika is a great take, you know. I like how he went, you gonna stick with it, Jake? Because Kavika, before I talk about the album, Kavika, which is David, you know, written for King David Kalakaua, it goes deep. Oh, this is nice and tuned. Okay, anyway, so it's usually D minor, the solo part. It's a D minor and A7 or A minor, however you want to do it. Usually A7. But when I started doing it, I thought it was A minor. So both work. Trust me. So it goes. So it just goes D minor. Just D minor and A minor over and over again. But there's a part in Jake's thing where it goes D minor, and it goes to C, it goes to B flat, and A7, and back to D minor. I'm like, oh, nice. I love those chords, and I wrote about it. I wrote with those chords back in high school, and I was like, that's something I like.
So those are not the chords?
To Kavika, no. The original.
So it's only in Jake's version.
Yeah, he extended it, you know, to have this like extended picking. Really cool because he used this it's like an effect, but it's what you call like Pink Floyd uses it. It's like a octave, like an octaver. You know, it makes octaves and stuff. So he's doing this solo with the octaver, and then I think he has distortion on it. It's pretty sick. And so on the later albums, there are some songs and stuff, but I think albums as a whole, I think Walking Down Rain Hill is one of, if not his best album, and then followed by Dragon. Because okay, and I'll tell you why.
Oh wait.
Okay,
so going back to Kavika, it's that song itself is pretty interesting because it's like every generation of Hawaii musicians has had a Kavika. Yeah. There
is it's basically your Hotel California, you know, or
it just keeps coming back.
Yeah, and there's it's one of those iconic solos because it was originally done by Peter Moon. So Peter Moon did the you know the ukulele
with Sunday Manoa.
Sunday Manoa. Yeah. And when he did, he established that ukulele solo. And my generation was growing up, Kyle Crater Boys, as you guys know, is well documented here in this podcast. I'm a big fan of Kyle Creative Boys, and Kyle Creative Boys did a take on Kavika, which I thought was that was the one. And then I found Sunday Manoa, and I'm like, oh well.
By Sunday Manoa, and it's like,
heard at least 5 Kyle Creative Boys songs in that album.
Yeah.
Including Guava Jam.
Yeah, including Guava Jam. Yeah.
So anyway, now Jake did a take on Kavika, so it's pretty cool because each generation is kind of like
so that was like 70s, 90s, like 2010s,
the teens. So it's been pretty cool.
Every couple decades there's another
we should
one.
do a tutorial on Kavika. We just do it. Just go do them.
What version though will we do? Like probably not Jake's, because
I'd probably do Kyle Creative Boys version.
Yeah.
Jake's has got all the fancy frills and stuff with it, and
the pedals and everything. We could do it, but it wouldn't sound the same. It wouldn't sound like him.
And the Sunday Manoa one has like a long like Ipu intro or like this is drums like I don't know if you guys heard that version, but it's like drums for a good minute.
You don't want to do and like it's like, okay, put down your ukulele and pick up your Ipu. Like this is the intro. We're gonna.
Yeah, I think it's D minor, A minor, because there goes because there's that part. So that wouldn't work if it was A7. Yeah.
A minor. Yeah.
I guess it could, but I'll stick to A minor. I think it's A minor. I'm just gonna take a guess. It's gonna be A minor. Okay, so Walking Down Rain Hill. I was listening to this album a lot, and Walking Down Rain Hill is a great slow tune. Like Jake is at that point was usually known for like really fast-paced kind of songs, very articulate kind of tunes and stuff, but then he likes to put in those slow tunes that I'm a huge fan of. So Walking Down Rain Hill was a really good track off of that, and it has Heartbeat. Heartbeat is, and I think I've said this before, also pretty much my favorite Jake song ever. It's got this kind of ping pong effect in the middle of the song that just like made me go bonkers when I first heard it. And I was already kind of like a professional musician who was like playing around and stuff and and performing and whatnot, and I heard that and I was just like, what is this sorcery that this man is doing? But I also dug Dragon, because Dragon was kind of recorded in a different way for the ukuleles. He kind of paved the way with that. And I kind of
like, meaning what?
Oh, so it's recorded in analog. So usually a lot of records just in general nowadays are recorded digitally. So you just put it in. There's tracks for you, like in the
infinite tracks.
Computer. You can have infinite tracks. But with analog, you actually have to like record it onto like I guess a tape. It's a tape, and then you take that, and that's how you kind of splice it up. You cut it and stuff, and that's how you make the album. It's basically on tape. It's analog. It's like an actual physical thing. That track is your track. So very expensive from what Jake was telling me is like, each track costs like X amount of money. And I was like, wow, like that means you have to be good. And he's like, well, he had like Nolo Kimoto on drums, and he had Dean Tama on bass, and it was him and ukulele. So I guess mistakes weren't aplenty. You're talking like some really heavy hitters in Hawaii as far as rhythm section, and then he had like a flutist, and he had like some strings and stuff, but I think that's not that bad either. I think he got some great players for that. I don't know who played those instruments, but yeah. And I was particularly listening to Heartbeat, and I don't know. I haven't done this in a while, but like I used to kind of like listen to the songs and play my ukulele while listening to the songs. And I didn't have my ukulele like up in Arizona, and but my sister-in-law took out my my nephew's ukulele that we gave him. We gave him this like Kala Waterman. Yeah, and I got the Waterman from Kalei's uncle, who does Music for Life.
Oh,
yeah. His name like escapes me right now. Oh, and that sucks because he's a really cool dude. Man. Anyway, so Music for Life Foundation, they were doing this thing at the mall where like you can you can go and just grab an ukulele and just kind of jam. I think we've we promoted that program before, and he's like Okala gave me a bunch of whatever and stuff, and maybe you can give this one a good home. I was like, oh, perfect. It's my nephew's birthday, so I gave him one. Anyway, so I was jamming with that Kala Waterman, and I was very, very, very surprised how much that thing can handle. To be honest, I was pretty surprised, and and I started jamming with the Dragon album, and I've noticed how much my attack has changed, since then, and I've noticed kind of how I approach the strings, and it's a lot more different than how I used to do it back then, because that was, I want to say, 2006. 2005. When did that album come out? Dragon. And Walking Down Rain Hill. I think Rain Hill was 2003.
Dragon was 2005.
Okay.
Walking Down Rain Hill was 2004.
Oh snap! He had albums every year. Crazy.
Yeah. So it was Sunday Morning was 2002. Yeah. Cross Current was 2003. Walking Down Rain Hill was 2004, and Dragon was 2005.
He just kept putting out bangers
and after then Gently Weeps was 2006, and that's when it changed everything.
I think, I think some people might only know Gently Weeps when it's if you look at his other albums, it's all of them are pretty solid.
Great songs on them.
Yeah, so I'm telling the story because I was playing and jamming on my little nephew's ukulele and stuff, and he comes up to me, and because I had the headphones, and I'm just kind of jamming ukulele, and it's he's like, oh, can you play Baby Shark? And I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I can play Baby Shark. So I played Baby Shark, and then went back to kind of doing that, and I'm just like, man, this ukulele, that ukulele was $40-$30 and stuff, and I'm like, that kind of helped me practice on the go, so I was like, I think the Kala Waterman is the best travel companion. So it is all this winding road down to god damn, because after I was playing with it, my nephew and his younger brother, basically, because they finally saw oh, we can do things with this with this ukulele, so takes it and just started jamming, and the two was fighting over the ukulele, and then that thing was just being banged on the floor. It was just it was still good. Yeah. It was it was indestructible. It was what a fluke, I guess, would be, But then that's just all plastic, so I didn't care about any of the pieces getting bust up. I'm oh yeah, I guess just bust them up, if you want to. I mean, don't, but if you're gonna whack your brother on the head over with it, the Ukes fine, But I was very, very, very impressed because whenever we get ukuleles, we get to try ukuleles. We usually try them for 5-10 minutes or whatever, and then oh, I guess this is pretty good, and we're just give a 10-minute review, to whoever's asking, oh, what do you think about my ukulele? But then that one, I got to kind of spend some time, and I know I'm very very spoiled with with great ukuleles from Kanile, great ukuleles at home and stuff that I don't really get to jam for a long period of time on what people would consider a junk ukulele or whatever,
Yeah,
but it was really good. But it stayed in tune.
You're not saying that it sounded great, right?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's the best take along,
yeah. If you're just worried about notes, it stays in tune. It plays the notes,
and we're talking about my attack and stuff because it had Aquila strings or whatever, so I had to, and I guess my mind kind of shifts now that I'm older, that okay, well, it's making this kind of sound, it's this bright, so I have to kind of attack it like this so that it sounds a little bit better, or that it I can get the sounds to come out and stuff. It's mostly flesh than the nail. It's kind of complicated, but it's mostly flesh. So kind of getting those notes in, especially when it goes up. That's in heartbeat, and I was like, oh, this feels really good because although I'm doing that. Here on this ukulele, I'm using more nail. So I'm kind of doing this with a thumbnail, and then with, I don't have a nail on my middle finger right now, but just kind of down up on the thumbnail. But that, when I was there, it was instead of the thumbnail, you'll see it in this kind of, this angle here. it was more like this.
Oh, trying to use
more... So here, instead of I'll take my pointer finger out of the way so you can see things. So I usually have it kind of like this, so it's all nailed. But this was also angled that way, and I was aware of it because I'm like, oh, this sounds pretty good with that, with this ukulele. This ukulele can sound good if you play it,
in a certain way.
In a certain way. So it was really cool because I don't really get to have that anymore, where I just kind of sit down and just okay, let me kind of listen to this. I had the headphones slightly kind of off so I can hear myself. It's really good. It's a glowing review for Waterman. It's not the best sounding. It's not perfect. It's not whatever. But if you have kids,
they can bang it around. You don't have to worry about it.
It's so good.
And then
because they're boys, they're two boys, and they're very rough with their toys and stuff, and it was really good.
Isn't the Waterman only in soprano size though?
Yeah.
And so how many?
I think so. I don't know. I don't want to say it.
No, but how many frets did you
12.
have?
12.
And so you were able to play some of the
most of Heartbeat. Then I'd go off the off the thing because it didn't really have too much off 12 12
super
fret.
high
super high notes and stuff. A lot of it was just it stayed pretty much here. And even the it would kind of stay here at the 12th fret. Definitely check out Heartbeats, or check out Walking Down Rainy Hill, in general, and then go check out Call the Watermans.
I think there's parents who will email us and be like, oh, I want to get my son a starting ukulele or a ukulele that's good to start on, so I know that they'll play it. Or I said son, but kid, right? Son or daughter or anything. They're like, oh, I want to give my kid a ukulele to start on, and I want to get them something good. But then that's kind of the thing is I kind of think you should get them $100, $200 that area ukulele where you can give it to them and be like, don't worry about this, just play this as much as you can. Take this with you wherever you want, take it down to the beach if you want, take it to wherever, and just play it and play it as much as you want, because that's I think that fosters the love of playing first before them getting a really nice ukulele, and then it's oh, you gotta make sure this is a $500 ukulele, you gotta make sure you take care of it, right? And then kids naturally kind of don't take care of whatever they have, so they're gonna it's kind of hard to tell them oh, only you gotta put it away in your case every night, take it out, wipe it down.
This ukulele is a case.
It's really good, and I was very surprised because I don't have it sounds really high by I don't have ukes
that
or whatever. High maka. Here's a clip. Here's you can see it there. So it's me playing for the two. So those are the two boys that I'm talking about, and that's the Call of Waterman. Oh nope, that's three of them. Two boys and me playing the Call of Waterman. So it sounds pretty good. Here's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
So it's kind of offish, but then once I start playing it a certain way, it goes back in tune.
Yeah.
So I wanted to show that because at the end, you hear oh, that C is kind of crazy, but it's well, if you play it like this, because I played the rest of it and it was fine, So you have to play it a certain way, but once you get the hang of it, it's actually a really good instrument, for travel or for people with kids and stuff.
Yes, to have around the house.
Yeah.
I would even make the argument that having starting off with a bad instrument first
is good.
Makes you a better musician. Because you learn to be a better musician to play with a bad instrument.
Yeah, right? To make it sound good.
Yeah.
It's whoa, why does this chord sound so terrible? Or if you're like me and I played on a guitar with terrible strings for a long time, but then you just learn to oh, I'm gonna not tune it in tune, but tune it to where the chords sound okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there are there's like a limit to that too, right? If it's a really terrible instrument, it makes you not want to play.
Like,
yeah, that's true.
You know,
yeah.
So it has to be like
something
decent
that tunes.
enough, where it's like it'll stay in tune.
Something playable, right? Like
it doesn't hurt when you play it.
Yeah, you can use at least.
Yeah.
But you don't need to get the. It's like, oh, I'm gonna
top
start
of the line.
Yeah. I'm just learning, and I'm gonna get a $10,000 whatever.
Yeah.
It's like,
don't get a toy.
Yeah.
But then get an actual instrument.
Yeah.
But don't. Yeah.
So every time someone asks me now, like, oh, what's a good like beginner instrument for my kid or whatever, now I'm just gonna call Waterman.
Yeah.
Man. It's $50 or something. Like, it's not expensive. It's really, really cheap because it's plastic. $50-$60 or something for one of those, and they last. They're great and stuff. Also, guys, today is the first day of NAMM. We if this was 4 or 5 years ago, we would have been there, but we're not. So, and I'm kind of stoked that we're not. But I'm curious to know what you guys are excited of seeing from NAMM.
Yeah, I think you asked us last week too.
Oh, yeah?
Like, if there's anything we're looking forward to being shown at NAMM.
Well, I have noticed that like in a lot of like YouTubers and people who've been kind of like making videos with the ukulele and stuff on Reddit or whatever, a lot. What's been really popular is friggin' Luna ukuleles or Luna guitars and ukuleles.
Oh.
Why?
Because they have a lot of designs. Right?
Really?
Yeah.
Is that like really as an aesthetic thing?
I think so.
Mostly,
like,
I think.
when you're buying an instrument, like the people that gravitate towards that are the ones that want to show off like a design,
like a
or
YouTuber,
something.
An Instagram, or Redditor or something.
They have like a lot of designs, right? They print onto the faces and the backs of the ukuleles. So
and it kind of I think I can understand people who do kind of go towards that because like they can get it, and then they can, if to other people who don't know the music industry or ukuleles or anything, they'll be like, oh, check out my ukulele, and somebody will probably look at it and be like, whoa, that has like a really fancy design. That must be like a custom ukulele or something, right? Like that must have been
for it to kind of look fancy without breaking the bank.
Also, I think they sponsored a lot, right?
They did.
Of
they started,
that kind of
and Flight ukuleles I've also noticed, and we're just like, Flight? Who? Like, who's Flight?
Oh, Flight is like Asian, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're all Asian, but if you're not talking about made in America, it's all Asian. But Flight is really popular in Asia right now, along with like Anuenue and
Anuenue is a big one. That's like their column over there.
But Flight has been taking off.
Good answer. You're getting punny.
But Luna, I think they kind of targeted the YouTube market, right?
Oh yeah, they're doing great.
Like, YouTube musicians, they kind of did a lot of like sponsorship and stuff. So I'm guessing that's how they're getting a lot of kind of talk.
Yeah, interesting, because I mean, as a person that's with Ukulele and stuff, that was actually Ukulele's plan of attack too at one point, like to just kind of not attack, I shouldn't say attack, but just like that was their their
strategy.
The strategy, there you go. Yeah, strategy is a better word than plan of attack. Strategy, where like they wanted to sponsor a lot of those like YouTubers and people who were just kind of like out and playing ukulele, but I noticed that they sponsored a lot more like local artists, which is good, like I like Hawaii artists. I like seeing Ukuleleles in the hands of like local artists that kind of play Hawaiian music, do that. Not saying that like I don't like it when someone not from Hawaii is holding it. No, nothing like that. Because they definitely sponsor other people as well. It's like not in not in local music, but I do like the fact that they started doing that more, because the local musicians that were sponsored by Ukulele in the beginning was just like some high profile ones, like Kelly Boy De Lima, for example, Imua Garza, Yeah,
In the beginning,
those
yeah.
two dudes. Now, yeah, but in the beginning, and then they kind of started to go out and sponsor a bunch of people from the mainland first. So you started seeing guys like Steven Espanola. I think Steven was a kindly artist before I was, and Matt Dahlberg and all these other guys started getting kind of sponsored by Canilea. But now they're kind of bringing it back to sponsoring people here at home, which is really cool. So,
I kind of. They're like sponsoring people here, but they're also sponsoring like younger kids too.
Yeah.
Like Carly plays River Them right too. And
yeah.
stuff. So yeah, they're definitely going after. It's like almost like we're gonna get everybody.
Well, there's like so much like ukulele companies now, and we've been talking about this for a bit, but like there's a lot of ukulele companies now, and a lot of them are good. Like they're not like before where like. It's if it's a K brand, it's good, or if it's made in Hawaii, it's good. Now it's like everyone around the world is making some great instruments.
Yeah,
and not just here in China or whatever, but you got guys like Kala who's now making Californian made ukuleles, like they're handmade and stuff, so they're not like sent off to China to be made and whatever. The quality control is great, and like. Little luthiers, that they used to just kind of make, small batches are now making a little bit more, so people can get a little bit more. It's crazy.
Yeah, you really can't say like, oh, it's the K brands, because then people are like, oh, Kala, and then it's like, it's the K brands that make Koa ukuleles, and they're like Kala.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, dang, no.
Yeah, that's why, and. Really, the Kala Elite series has gotten pretty good too.
And we're like we're not as exposed to like the new ukuleles as much as we were, especially when we were going to NAMM, or say like someone who works at like Hawaii Music Supply, like, or something.
Yeah,
because they get ukuleles all the time.
They got their fingers on the pulse.
But for guys like us who like we come across ukuleles every now and then now, but like it's good because we don't see the small steps forward that people are taking. Now whenever we get stuff, it's like we see the big differences because there's like a big gap between when we finally do get to check it out. Like if I go to the music store and Mike at the music store is like, oh, Magic Mike, he works at the other music store now. He's like, oh, check this out, that just came out or whatever. I'm like, this is pretty cool. And like, oh, hot dang, like I didn't realize that like Kala was was this good. And then like they've been good for like the past 3-4 years with like the whatever Californian made ukuleles. So it's been really really cool to kind of get a hold of some ukuleles after a good amount of time that we haven't really been exposed to any, which is surprising.
Well, that's the thing, is that we started going to NAMM, we started doing NAMM coverage in 2009.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was when Greg first went.
When did we stop?
Like 3 years ago.
2017, I think.
That was like our last one, right?
Yeah.
So we went for 8 years. That's crazy.
Yeah. And in that span of time, it was like a leap. Yes. Quantum leap,
Yeah.
Like there were like a handful of good like brands that were putting out solid stuff, and then there were a handful of brands that were trying to do like race to the bottom. Try to do the cheapest ones.
Yeah.
And then the entire middle just filled up within that span of time. That there was really good stuff, there was like not so good stuff, and there was a little bit in between.
Yeah.
But the entire middle just like ballooned in that span of time. So.
And it makes sense too. Like if I'm an ukulele player that's just starting out, I'm gonna go buy a like a $50 whatever Waterman. If I like it, then I'll save my pennies up so that I can get like a $300-$400 middle one, and then that $300-$400 middle one should last me a long time.
Until I can carry you through,
until I can go save up to buy a $1,000 or $1,500 one or whatever.
Well,
like if you're performing on stage, you might need that.
But at $300-$400, you can still get one that plugs in, and do all that stuff.
Yeah, and then it's kind of like at that point, if you get like something that high quality, it's like anything higher is kind of just like a want, right?
More than a need. Yeah.
So, like that's kind of the thing too, is like people always ask us, oh, what's like a good brand to get from? And it's like pretty much like all the ones that you hear about are pretty respectable, and as long as you get within like 100, 200, like as long as you don't get even these, like some people send me links to like stuff on Amazon where it's like, oh, have you heard of this brand before?
No, I haven't.
I was like, yeah, for sure. I'm like, no, I haven't, but I know that ukulele because I think that's the same ukulele as this other brand.
Yeah, they're probably made in the same factory.
Yeah, slapping another name on it.
Yeah, they look like, very similar, so there's
it's
probably
terrible, but yeah, like it's not gonna be the greatest, but it's not terrible.
Yeah,
that's what we learned when we went to China. There's just like a bunch of like instruments, and then like people were just like, oh, if you wanna like slap your name on it, you can totally do
so
that.
So when was that? We a few years ago, right? Like
that'd be 17, also 17.
Yeah,
maybe.
We went to Music China, which is kind of like NAMM in China, but gigantic.
yeah.
Like
no,
NAMM,
maybe 16, maybe 2016.
NAMM is huge because it takes up the entire Anaheim Convention Center. But
Music China
was like 3 times as big.
Yeah, it's like between the difference between like a house gecko and like an iguana.
Yeah,
iguana.
It was amazing. So, we didn't even get to like fast walk through all of the halls.
You can't. It's pretty insane. And a lot of them hurt my eyes because like there's that one section where it's just all DJ like equipments and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like
there's no sound police. Like NAMM, at least there's guys kind of going around with the meters saying like, oh, your decibels are a little too high at your booth, so you just got to turn it down. Music China has none of that.
Yeah. So if you go to like a drum one,
it's just a cacophony of like a wall of sound just hitting you immediately.
Yes, so I think a lot of them, like did just that. Like went to say something like Music China and found a bunch of stuff, slapped their brand on it, and then like started selling it overseas. But
because we definitely saw a lot of booths with unbranded stuff that we recognize. That is obviously this brand. This is obviously this brand, but they didn't have the names on them. That was
eye-opening.
It was
What do you call it? OEM? Like, what do they call it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was one of those things where you kind of realize that none of the brand names in America really matter.
Yeah.
Because
they're all Chinese brands.
Yeah, because like when you think about it, like if this is what the music industry is like, what's it like for electronics?
Yeah.
And what's it like for everything else? You know?
Yeah.
Well, like people think that like, oh, I'm gonna buy an iPhone, so it comes from one factory in China made as the iPhone. Right?
Yeah.
Like it comes from the Apple factory in China made to make iPhones. But then like, Apple always like buys screens from LG, from Samsung.
Yeah.
They buy the chips from everywhere else. Like Intel makes chips, and then even where the chips are made is like different factories, so really the only final part is like
assembled.
And even then it's like for something like that it might be like an assembly line where one side is getting like Apple finished and the other side is getting Samsung.
LG.
And then it's just like, oh, you kind of change the arrandgement of the chip, but they're basically the same thing.
A little different, but
it was very eye-opening just to kind of see the unbranded one. What does OEM stand for, Kahai?
I forget. It just means like you're buying the part, right? Like you're buying, because with OEM computer parts, you're buying singular parts to build the computer yourself. You're not buying the computer as a whole.
Original equipment manufacturer.
Oh, did somebody put it in the chat?
No, I just Googled it.
But I haven't even asked the chat yet. Does the chat have any questions? Talk about ukuleles or anything you want.
Renee asked, what are your feelings on banjoleles? They seem to really have exploded in quantity and quality.
I like them. They're a little too loud for me. They're very twangy, very loud and stuff, but that's banjos, so.
It was like best day of my life, right?
I think we talked about that. I wanted a banjolele for that. So there's like certain things where I would use a banjolele for, but it's not like something that I would just kind of pick up and jam on the, like unless it called for it.
if you're going for like that kind of folk.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
kind of
At that point, like, I don't know, if I'm going for that kind of sound, I would like learn a banjo, and that's just weird for me to say that, but. If you don't have time to learn a banjo, get a banjo uke. It's pretty much the same sound. I'm not saying the same thing. It's pretty much that same kind of type of sound.
There's this video where this lady, she like remixed a song as Mumford and Son, like if Mumford and Sons wrote the song, and it's like a Lizzo song, so she rewrote it. But then she added a banjo part, and she's like, "But I don't know how to play banjo, so how am I gonna do this?" And she just recorded each note of the arpeggio, and she just like arranged it so it goes, and then it's like, yeah, it sounds pretty good close to a banjo. It's like, oh yeah, it's not bad.
We should make an ukulele album that way. You can sequence stuff, right? Just
record notes.
Was that like Mr. Guitar Man or whatever, like back then, who like would just like play the note
0% skill.
I wanted to do Minuet in G. Like I wanted to redo that like that. Because we put out the like solo version, and I wanted to do it where it's like you can learn how to play it like this, or you can just cut it up.
100% editing, 0% skill.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to that guy, Mr. Guitar Man?
He's making full-length movies.
Does he?
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
He made a movie about being stranded in like Alaska. It has like a big name actor in it. I forget who.
Wow.
But, yeah.
See? Things moving on to bigger things. That's why, Ukulele on the Ground started from making ukulele videos, and now we're making ukulele videos. Now we're up in this world.
We made ukulele videos, and now we're gonna make fake banjo videos. That's the next step up.
Now we're streaming ukulele videos. live streaming ukulele videos. We used to have What's Behind the Secret Door. And now we have
What's in the Box.
What's in the Box? See, we're all growing.
We should bring that back every once in a while.
We did. We had What's in the Box.
Yeah, but we should do that again. Like you're saying, like we should bring that back every once in a while.
Okay, speaking of What's in the Box and the Low Friday Live Jams, I wanted to kind of talk about something very serious right now. Let's get serious.
Oh yeah, and Jim is in the chat.
Yeah, it's okay. Great. Okay. We are very we're very sad about what's going on in Australia right now, and we have a lot of Australian friends, we have a lot of Australian viewers and ukulele players and UU Plus members and just friends in general, like really good friends over in Australia. We Aaron and I went to Brisbane. And really kind of got to know the people there, got to know the ukulele scene, and got to experience Brisbane and its animals and its people and its food. Really, really, really cool and very rich culture. We want to help out with what's going on over there. So the fires have really just kind of engulfed a bunch of stuff, and a lot of people need help. So we want to help out. What we want to do is we want to give away an ukulele. Okay, we want to give away an ukulele, and we're giving it away to a person who will donate.
Anyone who donates will be put into a drawing.
Yeah, so we'll do a drawing for to win an ukulele, and to get into that drawing, you have to show us some kind of proof that you donated to a fund, to a charity.
Yeah, is there a specific one out there that's really good?
That's what we wanted to ask you guys, especially Jim. Jim Bills is in the chat right now. He's a UU Plus member. He's also an Australian. Through. This guy's he's also proud Australian.
Yeah, he's also involved with nonprofits.
Yeah, so we were wondering, Jim, if you can let us know which organization would be best to do something to donate to. And the thing is, we want to just help. We don't want to be, it's not one of those like give us your money and we'll donate it, like on behalf of Ukulele on the Ground or whatever. It's like no, we just want to give people an incentive to donate. I'll donate myself as well, and we want to give an incentive to donate. And for those people that did donate, they can just kind of, even if you donated already, we want to if we can see any kind of proof of that, we'll put your name in the in the thing, and we'll give away an ukulele.
We were talking about doing like a concert where we'll talk about like where to donate to, and then to where to send your email and everything to, right?
Yeah.
So like during that time, I'm guessing it's just like you and Aaron will play music, and
and
we'll kind of have
kind of like Live Aid, is what I was what I was thinking of. Like, so we'll just kind of play music for an hour, and we'll talk about the charity and stuff. And in that hour, people can donate. I mean, they don't have to do it within that hour and stuff. They can do it before or after the show. We'll give a time limit of, I don't know, maybe a week. Whoever can give us like proof of that they donated within that week, their names will go in the in the drawing, and then we'll pick out a ukulele winner. So that donate on your behalf, because that's kind of what we want. We just want to do incentives of like, no, that's your money. You should get credit for that donation. It's not like Ukulele on the Ground gets. It's from all our Ukulele on the Ground friends. Like, no, just do it. We just want to do an incentive to get you guys to donate. So because we want to help, we want to do whatever we can to help out. And the best way to do that is through music, through ukulele music, and see what we can come up with. Even if we just, even if it's just a little bit, it's something. We don't want to just kind of sit here like, just tweet about it, like,
yeah, oh man,
like, oh man, it's really terrible going on over there. Yeah,
fires.
Yeah, we want to help out. So Jim or anyone in Australia want to let us know a good a honest and reputable charity to do, and if you guys have any ideas and proof and stuff, because we don't need to see people's like personal information and stuff. Like, we just want to see how we can
just like
get some kind of proof, confirmation that they donated, because I'm guessing if you donate, you get like some kind of receipt,
email or something.
Yeah, so if we can see that receipt,
just take a picture and you can
just blurt it, or
put your finger over your
or your personal information. Yeah. Or you can go and in paint or MS Paint and just paint over it, whatever you want to do. Just as long as you send it over to us. So what we'll do is, like Kahai said, we'll do a little Friday live jam or Friday live concert style, but it's not going to be on a Friday. We'll do it on an off day, and in that we'll just kind of talk about it nonstop. Like, that's basically what we'll do. We'll just, after every song, we're like, donate here or do that, and then send it over to us, and we'll give it a ukulele, maybe a couple even, just to really get people to go and donate.
Yeah, so you were just mentioning this because we wanted to ask for like some charity ideas, or like where should we ask people to donate to. But then like we'll give out like more details about when the concert actually is, what charity we're thinking about, like saying like, support this, we'll figure it out like probably within the coming weeks or so, so we'll
Jim said he's kind of like drawing up a list.
Right on. And we'll just pick one. And or maybe we'll just have a list of like stuff that you can. It doesn't even have to be just one.
Any of these.
If you guys approved. Are into animals, like go donate to the animals. You guys want to donate to the firefighters. You guys want to donate to to just aid. Like the people who are affected. There's like lots of ways to donate. So Jim is our very well trusted Australian contact. So he'll let us know.
Even Jim said any tax deductible donation in Australia needs over $10, and then they'll send
over $10. They have a receipt.
Yeah, they'll send the receipt. So maybe we can make that like the minimum, right? To make sure that people get receipts and stuff too. So
cool bean. So that's what we'll do. We'll get these names from Jim, and we'll announce something very soon. Maybe even tomorrow. Because tomorrow will be Friday Jam. We want to announce it. If we can do it before we leave for Brown County, it'll be great. If not, if it comes afterwards, all good. But just the week after that is going to be our retreat. So it might, if we don't get to it, might not be for a few weeks. But we want to help like as soon as possible. So we might just do it for next week, maybe Tuesday or something.
Yeah, we'll figure it out, and then we'll mention it, and we'll make sure that you guys all know too.
Yep. Yeah. Sounds good. All right. So with all, guess we got serious for a second. Now, time for fun and games. Give me another question from the live chat, Kahai.
Renee asked, how do you protect your ears when you're on stage, or do you?
I don't. I should have, but I don't. I don't know how to answer that. I don't know how to answer that. The first time I don't know how to answer that because I can't. I'm deaf now. Like because I didn't ask that question. I don't know. Like, I mean, other than don't stand next to the speaker like how I do, because I like it next to me, because that works as my like monitor. Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna go the expensive route, you can maybe like buy an in-ear monitor, so just go straight in ear. You don't need it to be just kind of blaring and stuff. Mm-hmm. Another one would be to position yourself so that you're not in direct, like line of the sound wave of from the speaker. Let's see, or maybe don't go to places that are like super duper loud. I don't know. Like I wouldn't know what. There's no like one definite answer to this question, but
if you're playing a concert or you're doing something and you're playing in front of the speakers, but you know how to play your part and you don't really need to listen for feedback from the speaker, just put in earplugs. Just put in earplugs because you can kind of still hear the speaker, but then you'll play along anyways, right?
Yeah,
so.
It's Kevin
maybe
in the
just
chat
one
mentioned
earplug,
Eros, which are I guess music specific earplugs.
Yeah,
and there are a few different brands of music specific ear plugs.
Because they like go in your ear, but then they have like a small hole to kind of let like some music.
It's like frequency based.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I've never looked into it. Now I'm paying for it because I'm deaf. Like I mean, I have selective hearing, I guess, because like if I really fine tune it, if I'm listening to a track, for example, like I can still like hone in on just the bass part or just the drum part or just the guitar part and stuff. Like my ear still works in that way, but just in regular everyday stuff, like I can't really hear too much, or it comes to me kind of scrambled. Like my comprehension has gone down.
Renee asked, she said, I always see cool earplugs on the Tonight Show music performers.
Oh, those are in-ear monitors.
Yeah,
those are in-ear
monitors. And they're usually like pretty nice ones where in-ear monitors are basically just like earbuds.
Yeah.
Like really, really nice earbuds. Yeah. And you put it in and you attach it to a wireless system that sends whatever you're playing or what the whole band is playing to your
Those are usually pretty pricey. It was like $500 and up.
And they're custom molded to your ear. So
you can get those. The whole system is gonna like a wireless system is kind of expensive
because you need that and the pack.
And the transmitter and everything. So all of it together will get expensive. But you can actually get in-ear monitors for cheaper. Because what you do is you get like a universal in-ear monitors.
Okay,
so they're not
just goes with anything
custom. Yeah, they come with ear tips, and then you just find the best fitting ear tip to fit into your ear. So
what's the brand that you use?
I use
because you use in-ear monitors for when we film and stuff.
Yeah, I do. What is it? I think it's their New Force. I think that's what they're called. NUFORCE. And I know they make like a few, and they can get to like $200, but that's still better than like $1,000.
Right. So, they can definitely get up there. It's one like, how much would you say one that Beyonce uses?
Oh, that's probably like
10 grand, 15 grand.
Yeah, or like starting 3,000 and then I can get up to 10.
Bling to it.
It's just blings, probably diamond encrusted. And the range for the transmitter's gotta be like, because it's a stadium. She does like stadium shows, so that has to be like a huge
cutout.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because and the reason
feel safe.
And the reason why they're so expensive is because they're basically fitting like full-size headset, like headphones, like studio headphones, into like something so small that it just fits in your ear. So
great stuff. Great question, because something that I should have invested in a long time ago, but it's done now. It's done its damage, so I just break my ears. I just keep doing it. Whatever. I don't need to hear, right? When I'm older, I could just. Maybe I'll use that as excuse, even though like I do hear people. I'm like, sorry, I didn't hear you. Wash the dishes.
I know
my Switch. Oh, sorry, these ears. Oh no.
I forget what it was called, but there's like this special. I don't know if they were like the IM themselves or just software right on your phone, where you took a test to measure your frequency response of your ears. And then with that, they'll kind of boost certain frequencies that you have a harder time hearing. To make it sound more even, right?
That's like custom to you and your ears. That's amazing.
Yeah, and I know like some musicians or producers actually like doing that because they'll listen to the music with their certain EQ on. Yeah. So they can hear what it would sound like when the music is flat, and they mix like that, and then so like for pretty much everybody else, it should sound good, when they act.
Yeah, that's tough because like each radio, each like headphone, each like computer speaker, each car is gonna sound all different. So like that's always been the tricky part for mixing for me, and then doing a little bit of mastering because it'll sound good here like when I record stuff, but once like I send it over to my computer, use my computer speakers. It's like, oh, this sounds like butt. Like,
I've always heard that you mix and master with your good, your good equipment.
Yeah.
And then you take it into your car and you test it with your car. Because your car, unless you intentionally beef it up, it probably has like some pretty generic speakers that are just midline, whatever.
That's like that's what I did for my last couple albums is use the car and use the computer. Like the computer speakers because they're back there and stuff. But like for some reason when I'm like on YouTube or I'm like streaming on Spotify, it sounds pretty good. But whenever I play like one of the like the play along tunes, like why is it so like bleh? Just gross sounding. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's the performer that has a lot to do with it. But let's just say maybe, sometimes it's not the performer. Most of the time it is.
Well, like even now, like I have my headphones on to listen to our mics and stuff.
Yeah.
And I try to kind of pre-mix all the things like here a certain way. And that sounds pretty good in my headphones. And then I go home and I have like a $300 set of headphones, and I put that on. I'm like, not as good as home. Dang it, I didn't quite get it. But it's like with this headphones are like $100. It's like, oh, not too bad. I got it. Sounds pretty good. The levels, the EQ sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I had like some really nice Shure headphones that I used to mix with, but I don't know. They just like it's died on me for some reason. You can still hear out of it, but it's just not the same. So I got these AKGs, and these are like 150 or something. It's not expensive, but I like them, but they're too big for my ears, and a lot of it kind of bleeds out. So I gotta find ones that like
noise really isolating.
Yeah. But I don't know. It sounds good in there, but then once I play it anywhere else, because like I'd be super excited for a track. I'm like, oh, Kai, I gotta listen to this. Check this out. And Kai's like, oh, yeah, this does sound pretty good. I'm like, does this sound great? And then like I'll put it in, put it here. And it's like, oh, it sounds kind of okay. And then I put it on my phone and I listen to it in my car. I was like, no, this has to be like remixed. This sounds like butt.
Yeah. Yeah, even that, right? Going from headphones to like just a speaker, it's different. So it's hard. Yeah.
Okay. So, any other questions from the chat? So we got a few questions.
Way back, I think Renee mentioned about Blackbird guitar or the Blackbird ukulele. Yeah. I think when we were talking about the Waterman, that's why.
Oh well, Blackbirds. I mean, that's a good. That's a good suggestion, but then Blackbirds also run like $1,000. It's not the most cheap option. And at that point, if I'm gonna buy something, buy a ukulele for $1,000, I would.
I think she was just mentioning because they're durable, right?
Yes,
durable and travel.
Yes. And they sound good. So I'm not knocking on Blackbird and stuff. I like Blackbird a lot.
Sound wise, I'd probably it's like
sounds great.
I would definitely take that over a Waterman.
Sounds awesome. And indestructible. Like their whole tagline was you could go to like the North Pole and still play it.
Well, they started off as a carbon fiber company.
Yeah.
So they used to make carbon fiber ukuleles and guitars. And then now they've transitioned completely away from carbon fiber. They don't make carbon fiber anything anymore.
So now they make like that ECOA.
Yeah, it's all their own ECOA blend. It's a flax-based material, but it's fantastic. And I like the last time that I was in San Francisco, I got to stop by and I talked with Joe.
Nice.
And
Joe Vitek.
Joe
Lutvak.
Yeah. And so he is almost, I mean, he's still involved with Blackbird, but he's almost hands off already because they're the company just runs itself. It does exactly as much as it can, and it's topped out. Like, there's orders coming in and they can barely meet the
orders. That's great. That's good.
They're doing really, really well. And so he kind of stepped away because that the material that Blackbirds are now made out of is just like this revolutionary material. And so
proprietary.
So he has a company called Lingrove now that he started to help market the material, so other companies can take it
because it's not just for ukuleles.
Make stuff out of it. And just because it's a high performance like all natural, like he was saying that something about like everything nowadays, like plastics and steel and materials that we make things out of, all of them like use carbon or like produce carbon, and
the footprint is
the footprint is huge for any device that you have. And so he said that in the life cycle of that ECOA material, it's carbon negative.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So even in the process of making the material and you using it, it's still carbon negative because in the growing of the flax, it takes up more carbon. And it doesn't destroy any trees.
That's cool.
And it uses like water runoff. So it's like
that is awesome.
Just
so companies could actually use that to go like carbon neutral. Like
if they're doing stuff that is like carbon intensive, the use of the material may bring them back down to carbon neutral, or may offset some of that stuff. But just the possibilities for it are pretty amazing. And I remember so like when we were going to NAMM back in the day, when he first introduced that Clara ukulele, that it was the first time that they actually used that new material. I remember stumbling upon, like, because we Hall E, where all the ukulele, like the Hawaii made ukuleles are, you go down that escalator, right?
Yeah, and that's Blackbird right there.
No. So you know how at NAMM they have guest speaker kind of like profiles, like some they take like a company and then they bring them to like a little conference room and stuff. They stuck him right next to the escalator.
I remember.
So like you're coming down the escalator and here's Joe outside of the Hall E just talking to maybe like 5 or 10 people, and he's like so excited about this. Like, I helped create this brand new material that's gonna help save the world, and like people are like kind of slow clap, like not really that excited about it. But I remember us coming down the escalator. We didn't have anything lined up right then, so I stopped by and I like watched him. And I was on the edge of my seat, like tell me more, you know. And I was like, at the time I was like, I don't know if he even knows like the possibilities for this material. I imagine that he kind of had an idea, but talking to him this last time that I spoke to him, he totally had an idea. He knew what he had. And so he immediately created that separate company to kind of like help market it. So I hope that it goes somewhere. Like I hope it
sounds promising,
even bigger, and people start using it because it's just an amazing.
It's crazy. Like, as soon as you go down the escalator, there's like a place where you can get coffee. And beer
they stuck him in just like this little area with like 5 little ottomans, so nobody could even really sit there.
And then like on this side was like Ukulele magazine, Ukulele magazine, and then surprisingly, like just a few booths down was like Kiwaya, and then what's
but he was doing his talk outside of Hall E, right next to the escalator.
Right where the press place is.
Like kind of kitty corner. Press place.
Poor guy.
And he was so excited.
I thought you meant like the escalator coming from the inside to the outside.
From the outside.
Because I know from the inside there's like the coffee and beer, and then it's him, and then Kiwaya and the flute guys.
But I mean,
music.
Like Blackbird had been around for a while by that point, but they were nowhere near like Kala status.
Were they the same company as Rain Song? Because Rain Song used to do, two different places.
Totally different.
Okay, because I know like
Rain Song did do carbon fiber, and now the carbon fiber instrument is like close or cloth, like they're kind of trying to take the reins of carbon fiber ukuleles and guitars, but
it's cool, man.
I don't know.
That's
like,
exciting.
Yeah, Blackbird, I think they have it going on like that. Yeah.
Should have invested in that E-Cole, man. That guy's gonna blow
still
off.
Can. I think it's a private company.
I think
because no one's still listening. Like he's still trying to shout it from the top of a mountain.
Yeah. But
doesn't anybody care?
Yeah.
About saving the environment.
It's fun because it does feel like that. Like he's kind of like that. Like we're standing in a burning house. Is nobody else freaking out right now? Like
it's a little hot.
That kind of like that's what it feels like because he understands like what the world is going through, and he's like, I'm trying to do something. Does anybody care? Like,
does it have curl though?
Does it? Yeah.
Does it have curl? It's not a shiny. It's not shiny.
Yeah.
Curls.
Can you make one that looks like zebra wood? It's like I mean, and he's trying too.
Yeah.
So he developed like almost like a straight grain version.
Oh wow.
So if you look at the Blackbird, the backs of the Blackbirds now, they look awesome. They look like wood.
Man, you're selling me on a Blackbird right now.
Yeah,
no, you're selling me some E-Cole stuff.
Yeah, it's getting to the point where, like, because when they first came out with it, I was like, well, it's like over $1,000, and at that price point, I would just get a Hawaiian made core ukulele. But
you were part of the problem.
But they were starting, just starting out, and they sounded okay, but they didn't sound fantastic. Now they sound really good.
Oh wow! Okay,
like rivaling, I think, the clarity of like everything else.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. I like talking to him. Like when we went to NAMM, he's like one of the vendors that, like, even if we weren't doing an interview or weren't doing anything, it would just be fun to go like check up on him and hang out, right? Yeah. And even sometimes we would go up to him and be like, "Oh, hey, you want to do an interview?" And he'd be like, I don't have anything really new this year, so it's okay. We don't have to do an interview.
Yeah, but then, he's totally willing to talk if you know.
Yeah, and it was just fun to hang out and talk with him about, like, he's like, oh, I don't have anything that I brought here, but here are the things that I'm working on.
Yeah.
And he was like always like, we would talk to him and like kind of tell him like, oh, you might want to try do these things with the ukulele, try and make it sound more like this or something. And he would always seem to like really take that feedback and like really
take it to heart.
He was always super cool. Like whenever we were in Frisco, he was just like, oh, you guys can
and that's the thing too.
Stuff.
Like I went, I just stopped by with Russ. I was with Russ, and we were just in the neighborhood. I stopped by unannounced, no appointment. And he was like in the middle of something.
Yeah, he just stopped everything.
And he was like, here's my assistant. She'll kind of take you on a tour of the Blackbird side, and then when I'm done with my thing, I'll stop and talk.
That's
and
cool.
he talked with me for a while.
And
so it's like, I'm a nobody. So like, you know,
super nice.
Like even when we were walking
not
around,
a nobody, not to me.
But he recognized me too.
Oh,
like
cool,
he
man.
remembered me.
He call you Ryan.
even when we would be walking around, right, with like cameras, just kind of scouting the area.
Yeah.
Like he would be talking to business people, and then he would make sure to like see us and like wave at least to us, like
cool
like
guy.
or be like talking to them and be like, oh wait, and just say hi and then go back to talking with them. So it's always cool. Like I appreciate people because the music industry can be like where it's just like, oh, I'm too busy. I have to talk to this person from Costco who's gonna make a deal with me. But Joe like actively took time to like at least say hi to us. So
Joes have been really nice to us.
So there are sound samples of Blackbirds on the Hawaii Music Supply site, and they did a pretty good job of trying to capture it. Although it's now you just gotta play it and see how it sounds.
Yeah. All right, we've actually gone over it. We didn't have anything to talk about. Look at us. Look at us go. We're like podcasting people now.
We do this.
we
podcast on Thursday.
There's actually like a couple questions that we had earlier too.
Sure.
So Angie asked if you're ever gonna play in the Boston area.
We're gonna go to Pittsburgh. That's like as close as we're gonna get. So I know it's not Boston.
Yeah,
but it's like
they've been trying to get us. Yeah, but it's just hard. The ukulele melee or melee.
But it just has to make sense for everyone financially too, because I think the attendance is not as high as the other ones in in the other places, but like so our artist fee has to kind of make sense with the whatever
the flights and everything.
The flights with what they're putting, because we don't want to like we don't want to charge like a certain amount and then they're like struggling to meet just to pay us, and then like because we want it to grow. Festival, exactly. We want that festival to grow, and once that festival grows and they have the funds to do so, because like we don't want our attendance to like not have that festival like the next year, the following year, like oh well, we paid these guys so much, we only made so much, so now we can't do it again. So we'd rather have more festival than us being there.
But if people want to see you somewhere, like, and they kind of know the festival organizers or whatever, like mention it to them.
And they'll strike a deal with us and stuff. And we're not hard to or we're not like expensive or anything, it's just the flights. The flights
getting us over there
is a big deal, and especially because it's Boston, it's all the way over in the east. So you have to think like you're bringing us from from Hawaii, but I believe there are now direct flights to Boston, which is crazy.
Direct.
How long is that flight?
Honolulu to Boston? I think it's like 10 hours.
10 hours, dude.
Well, Angie,
my Switch battery will run out.
The reason why she asked is because she said that Taimane just played.
Oh yeah, Boston. Well, Taimane is probably on a tour, so it's not like they had to pay like
a little closer than Hawaii.
Yeah, so for us, because we do a lot of one-offs now, like it's just flying us to the thing, and then you got to fly us back. But I think in Taimane's case, she was maybe like like
in the area,
and did that, or well. You can't really compare us with Taimane anyway. Taimane is like this huge Angus that she just played the Kennedy Center.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's insane. So, I mean, thank you. It's very flattering that you're like, well, Taimane did, so maybe why don't you guys? You know what I mean? Like, she's huge. Yeah. Taimane is a big deal. I will now, like, lay claim to the fact that she opened up for me at one point. At one point in her career, she was the opening act to Aldrine. I will rest on my laurels. Just thinking about those good old days in Taiwan where she opened up for
what was it, Huntington Beach? She opened.
Did she?
I think so. Right? It was the one at the pier, the festival,
the
festival at the pier. She
San
played
Diego.
Before us, or was it San Diego?
Yeah, San Diego Ukulele Festival. Yeah, she but she had like the night before, and then they just had her play again.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I'll count it. I'll count it. Technically, she opened up for us, and I guess technically Julia Nunes did too.
Yeah,
she's a huge act now as well. She like did a video with Scary Pockets.
Oh yeah,
like, God dang, Julia. But thank you. It's very flattering that you see us as equals. But
you mentioned the Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Do they still have tickets to that, or is that
not sure? That's the Steel City Uke Fest. That's
no, Allegheny.
Allegheny. I keep thinking.
I think the
Allegheny Ukulele Fest.
Soiree.
What? I think they were sold out though, right? The soiree was sold out.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
And there's the Brown County Festival.
That's the one we're going to.
That one weekend. Might be sold out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that one was small.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to that next weekend. So all you Brown County folks. I don't know. What are they doing about? I just started going like this for some reason, because every time I see Mike Hader, because Mike Hader's like he's like a B guy. Like,
yeah.
So I always think of like overalls and whatever, but I'm sure not everyone in Brown County is like Mike Hader. I did this because he's like Mr. Overall guy with his chickens and bees.
Okay. And then Paul asked at the start of the podcast, kind of.
Yes.
He asked, how's the hot sauce going?
Bad, actually, because I haven't
eaten
I haven't eaten at the office in a long time, and I only use it when I eat, so I didn't foresee this coming.
Halfway, we're halfway still.
If I'm being completely 1,000% honest, I have not been buying lunch because I've been saving up my pennies to buy my wife a anniversary present next month, because my anniversary is next month, also Valentine's Day is next month, and her birthday is also next month. So I have 3 things that I need good. I need to go get, and I have my eye on a Balmuda toaster for our anniversary, for her, definitely for her, not for me, for her. This amazing steam toaster.
It's still a surprise because she totally doesn't listen to this podcast.
It'll be great. And so I've been saving my pennies, not going out to eat and bringing it over here and stuff. I might bring home lunch maybe to use the hot sauce on, but if I'm gonna do that, I might as well just eat before I come to work, so I don't have to do too much dishes. I gotta sit here, eat it, and then it just stays at the office, and when I bring it home, and it's all gross. So that's the problem that I've come across when trying to finish the hot sauces. I haven't been eating too much stuff. I guess I could just drink it, but.
So you're saying that after next month it should resume?
It should resume its because it was going down a lot, because we started in October. It wasn't quite Christmas yet, so I wasn't thinking presents or anything like that for my nephews and nieces. And then December kind of started to slow down a little bit, but now January's here. It stopped just because I need some wife presents, and that's crazy. She gets 3 in a month. I guess, and I don't know. I guess I get some cool present from her every now and then.
It's not like, oh hey, I got you some of the new Fontaine cards,
which I did. I didn't show it to you yet, but I got the good company Fontaines on the lucky people who got them.
Thank you, I guess.
Oh, you don't want it? Oh, I guess I'll take it.
I'll just take it, I guess.
Oh.
I have 12 more, but I could always use some more.
All right, guys. So let's. Is there any more before I don't want to end it? And there's people asking.
No, I think that's pretty much
okay,
it.
Cool. So that's it for Thursday Live Lessons. We've enjoyed kind of just hanging out and chatting with you folks. Have a great one. We'll see you guys tomorrow for Aloha Friday Live Jams. Check out all the new and exciting things. Did you just post something new yesterday, Kai?
No, I'm gonna try and get it up today.
Okay, cool. We have Redemption Song by Bob Marley as edited by Kahai on UU Plus Solos. So make sure you check that out if you want to learn yourself a nice political song for the new year. Redemption Song by Bob Marley is one of the best of them. Okay, so one of my favorite. It is basically my favorite Bob Marley song. It has one of the best lines that I've ever heard in any tune, which is emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind. Now with that said, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Aloha.